Prenuptial agreements, sometimes referred to as antenuptial or premarital agreements, are written contracts that are entered into between two parties who are contemplating marriage. Now, that contract will alter the rights of those parties in the event they ultimately terminate the marriage by divorce or dissolution or even the death of one of those parties. In Ohio, prenups are required to be executed in advance of the date of marriage, and with enough time for the parties to review, perhaps consult with legal counsel to collect and review documentation in support of the parties' required disclosure of their assets and liabilities. As a mandatory part of any prenuptial agreement, parties are required to produce a listing that will become a part of that agreement that shows all of their current assets and liabilities as they are as close in time to the time that they're going to execute that agreement as possible. And then the document itself becomes a permanent record of the financial circumstances at the time that the parties enter into that contract. So whether a party has an attorney prepare the agreement for them, or whether they just consult with an attorney to perhaps review a document that's been prepared for their review, that is a very personal decision, but recommended if there's any question with regard to the fairness or validity or even the appropriateness of any of the terms that might be contained in the agreement. So it's up to you, but at least if you hire an attorney, you can consult, and if you have any questions, then you also have an opportunity to have all of your questions answered in advance. So who should get a prenup? Well, there's no simple or easy answer to that question. I wish there was, but no cookie cutter response. Anybody really can get a prenup, but if you are contemplating a prenuptial agreement, really what will help you make that decision is a firm understanding of the probate and the divorce laws. And once you understand what those laws are with regard to a termination of the marriage or your death, in the absence of a prenuptial agreement, then you may have a better understanding of whether a prenup is something that you would like in order to alter those rights. Now, who are good candidates for a prenup, and who would a prenup benefit? Well, we can all probably think of the person who's coming to the marriage with significant assets already, and they want to protect those. So perhaps a business owner who's a part owner of a family business, big or small. If they're concerned about an ugly divorce, maybe destroying that business, a prenup would be a great way to protect those assets. But also for the parties that are coming without any significant assets, if there's an anticipation of wealth accumulation or asset acquisition during the marriage, after the date of marriage, those people can benefit from a prenup as well to protect those assets. In another vein, you might have the person who has children from a previous relationship and they want to protect property distributions to those children. That's a good candidate for a prenup as well. So there's really no real straightforward answer. Pretty much anybody could benefit from one. Now, I guess in a nutshell, a prenuptial agreement changes the situation from this. Now that we're married, what's mine is yours automatically, to now that we're married, what's mine stays mine, and what's yours stays yours, unless we intentionally decide otherwise, and therefore giving the parties the power to, in advance and thoughtfully, determine their property and asset allocations and distributions.